Welcome back to InstaBulls, everyone. Welcome to Breakfast with Bulls, where I'm going to be going over the top stocks that everybody has been talking about, as every one of these stocks, in my opinion, can definitely have a run up at some point. So I want to go over each one of these with you guys and exactly which resistance we want to be breaking over, and also which indicators we want to be looking for on these breakouts. But again, let's jump right into this one. So real quick, I want to go over the top 10 stocks so you guys can know what we're going to be going over. I want to go over Sndl Bngo Nndm Plug Nio Idex Pltr Ctrm Trch and Zom, as they all have been on a little bit of a sell-off, except for TRCH, not as much. And they all do definitely have the capability of breaking out at some point. I want to show you guys exactly which resistances are very key that we do need to be breaking out of to show us more bullish momentum. Now, again, Sndl, we have been a little bit of a sell-off. We do still have the 20 MA below the 50 on the 4-hour here. Now, this is the 4-hour. This is what we're looking into for a possible swing trade. So we ultimately want to break over this 94-cent mark that we did get rejected previously at, and we did start to have a sell-off, and we are consolidating at this point at around 65 cents. So if we can break above 94 cents, it would show us a little bit more bullish momentum, but ultimately I want to break over 119, as we did have a huge run up at that point, and also we did have a bounce play here multiple times. You can see the run up here. We did have a bounce here. We did get a rejection of the downside here and had a little bounce as well. And then we had a little bit of a sell-off here when we could not hold these levels, and we are currently selling off at that point. Now, we are trying to hold these levels here that we did previously consolidate at back here. So we are going to see if we can hold these levels and possibly break above 94 cents and hopefully above 119 at some point in time. But again, I'm going to set my alert around $1. So that way, if it does break over $1, then we will be looking for that 119 breakout on a possible momentum play. But again, cannabis, I'm very bullish on. I like this one on the long play. At this very point in time, I would be holding off on this long play only specifically. I like TLRY, another cannabis play. I like that one as a long play only because it's a more profitable company. Sndl just got out of debt. They mentioned they're debt free about a couple of months ago. But as far as a long play, I don't know about Sndl, but I do like it definitely as a very volatile play. And it definitely will possibly have a huge move up around 119. So again, Sndl will be on the watch in the next couple of months for at least a nice day trade, in my opinion. But again, TLRY, I'm very bullish on. I do have that one as a long play. And I will be adding more to that one if it does happen to sell off. Bngo, we have been on a little bit of a sell-off. We did have earnings about a week ago, and they did announce that they are about 169% profitable year over year. So we are going to be looking for this one to possibly have a run. But I'm not going to be playing to Bngo long at this point in time, but I do want to see if it can break over this resistance here at 928. Now we are currently sitting around 571. And we do want it to break at least over the sell-off point at 739. But as far as the sell-offs that we have been having, I want it to break over 928. So I'm going to set an alert around $9. I know this one has been a little bit of a sell-off, and it may even continue to sell off, and we may change that resistance to where we are currently. Again, because we have a previous breakout at this point, we may be changing this resistance to this point later on in the video if it does continue to sell off. So again, Bngo will stay on the watch. It is very volatile, and I do believe it will have a breakout at its point in time, and we definitely will go over it as soon as it does show more bullish momentum, of course. Now, NNDM, I want to go over as well. We have been a little bit of sell-off. It's very similar to Bngo. We are trying to hold these levels that we did previously consolidate and break out of. So we are going to see if we can hold these levels. If we cannot, then in my opinion, we could possibly see a sell-off coming down to our previous consolidated breakout that we did see back here. So again, hopefully, in my opinion, I think that NNDM is very bullish. I love NNDM. I love NNDM very much as Bngo, very much so. I think that NNDM will definitely have more contracts, as they are going to have a government contract, possibly another one soon. So we may see a run up on NNDM at some point in time. The very key resistance that I wanted to break over is 881. This is where we got rejected here. We did start to have a sell-off here multiple times. And we did have a bounce around this area, and we did have a consolidated breakout. So down again around 1880. I do want it to break over to give us more bullish momentum. So I'll be setting my alert around that area, so that way it could show us a possible nice bullish momentum play on NNDM. So again, NNDM also very much on the watch. If you guys like to day trade, it's very volatile. Definitely be careful if you don't day trade. But NNDM is very volatile, and it's very useful sometimes for nice day trades. Honestly, sometimes it just has its days where it runs, and this is one of the most volatile stocks that does like to run quite a bit. So again, I like this one even sometimes on the short term for a quick 2-minute trade if it does happen to have its momentum during that day. But again, plug has been beaten down for quite a while. Now we do see the 20 MA starting to curl up. We're waiting for this to cross above the 50. We do look like we're having a nice run recently. Now we are trying to break above this rejected point that we see here at $29. And then this is where we previously did sell off. So we are trying to test this point, and we're going to see if they can break above this and break above the 50 MA, of course. And ultimately, we want to break over our 47 mark. But again, we are coming all the way down around this area. I think it would show us a lot of bullish momentum if we did break over $29 with the 20 MA crossing above the 50, as we have been below the 50 for quite a while. And I'm sure we would have a nice bounce at that point in time. We are going to be waiting for that 20 MA to cross above the 50. On the MACD, you can see the buy pressure here. We have been increasing in buy pressure, and we have been also increasing in sell pressure. But I like how the EMAs here are starting to finally cross above the MACD, showing us that we may have that bullish run on PLUG. I think PLUG at these levels, if you believe in PLUG, I think these levels are definitely the points that you would probably enter on a nice short-term play. But if you also wanted a long play, I definitely would be careful, as it has been all the way down to around $4. I would probably want to see more momentum if I was going to swing this one, probably breaking over at least, like I said, around $39. But again, we wanted to at least break over $29 to show us more bullish momentum on a nice short-term play, in my opinion. And it looks like it is starting to get to that point. We're going to see if that 20 MA can cross above the 50. So again, Nio, I wanted to go over as well. And also PLTR, we did go over previously. And actually, it's funny, we haven't went over Nio in a while, and it looks like it did exactly where we pointed our arrow to. It came all the way down, trying to test these levels. So again, we have lower lows here. Sorry for all the drawings I have here, but this is from previously. But we do have lower lows here. We do have lower highs here. It looks like we are trying to consolidate. We have the 20 MA starting to curl here. Hopefully it does curl up like we saw on PLUG. So hopefully we can cross above the 50. Ultimately, we want to break over this resistance that we did mark here previously at $45. That is a very key resistance that we also did consolidate, and we also broke out of when we came all the way up to around $66. So again, around $45 is very bullish for us. But however, at this point in time, it looks like we are consolidating. We could even come down to test where we did mention previously, all the way down to around $27 if it does not start to turn around here and this 20 MA doesn't curl up and cross the 50. And also we can see here on the sell pressure, it has been increasing a little bit. It looks like we are kind of decreasing in buy pressure, and the EMA lines are still below the MACD, showing us that we could see a continuation on a sell-off before we do get that bullish momentum. But again, Nio, we all know Nio, in my opinion, is a very good long play. It's definitely risky, as China could change the regulations at any point in time, but Nio definitely bullish on the long play, in my opinion. And we are going to continue to have that one to watch, and I'll keep giving you guys updates more on Nio, as I haven't been going over Nio as much recently because it's been on a lot of sell-off recently. So I will be going over Nio in the future more often. So IDEX, I want to go over. Now, IDX does have nice consolidation here. This one definitely could turn around and definitely break out at some point. But I do want it to break over this rejection point that we did see multiple times at 313. And then ultimately, I want to break over 350, as this is where we did consolidate. We got rejected multiple times. We did have a huge sell-off at this point, and this would show us more bullish momentum around 350. So I do like the consolidation. I like how 20 MA is starting to come up and test the 50. Hopefully, it does cross above it. If it does not cross above it and we do see it get rejected like we did see right here, then we could possibly see the same thing happen here and get rejected on the 50 MA and start to curl down below the 50 MA. And we don't want that to happen. So again, I'm going to let the play come to me on this one on IDX. I'm going to set my alert around 350. So that way, if it does hit that, we will be looking for that volume confirmation to at least break above the previous volume points that we did see when it did come up to these prices. So again, IDX will stay on the watch. And again, it's very volatile. So definitely be careful. Let the play come to you on that one, in my opinion. PLTR, I'm going to go over it with you guys. So PLTR, we've been waiting for quite a while. Their earnings weren't as good as everybody expected. They definitely sold off all the way down to around $16. So we did have a little bit of a bounce back, and we do see the EMA is just starting to consolidate. We don't see anything with any bullish momentum at this point in time. We do see a lot of sell volume that we have been seeing recently. So hopefully we don't sell off, but if we do, we could possibly come down and test this 15 mark that we did previously consolidate at, and we also broke out at this point as well. So we are going to be possibly coming down to test this level. Hopefully not, but hopefully we can break above this. It looks like we are trying to hold this $20 mark, $20.85 mark. And hopefully we're going to be looking to break over this resistance that we have been talking about for a while at 27.29. That would give us the bullish momentum we're looking for. Now, as far as buying early, I think PLTR is a very bullish company. I think it will definitely be above the prices it is now at some point in time. But as far as how long you're going to be holding this stock, at that price. I'm not sure. We definitely want to see more bullish momentum until we do play into it, in my opinion, before we do hold too much on this one, as it is bullish, but we do want to see what price it might get to before it does go bullish. It may jump around. It may start to go bullish around $14, may start to go bullish around $29. So we got to make sure that it does give us that bullish momentum by breaking that key resistance. So again, PLTR on the watch for 27.29 as that key resistance. And I want to go over CTRM here with you guys. CTRM has been selling off for quite a while. This one's also very volatile. It reminds me of BNGO and NNDM as far as how the stock looks. This one came all the way up from around 13 cents. I remember everybody talking about this last year going to $0, but it has been consolidating recently. We're trying to hold this mark here at 42.70. We hopefully do break above 55 cents. And we did have a nice gap here down that we did have, not a nice one, but a huge one. And we definitely had a sell off here. So we are going to be trying to break up above the 74-cent mark. If we can break above it, this also is where we did consolidate and break out at. So again, around 74 cents would give us more bullish momentum. CTRM will definitely have its point in time. I'm not sure when. Obviously, the market's not very healthy right now, but hopefully they do get news that comes out at some point in time. We could definitely see a huge run up on CTRM at some point, but it is very volatile. I wanted to go over this one because this one was one of the biggest plays that a lot of people made money on last year. I saw a ton of people make a ton of money on this one, so we're going to keep this one on watch. TRCH has been holding up pretty nicely recently. You can see that we are creating higher lows and we're trying to create higher highs. We're trying to break above this rejection point that we did have here around 245. So ultimately, I want to break over 245. This is where we previously did break out. We also did have a bounce here. We also did have huge red candles that came in here because we dropped below that. So it showed us a huge sell-off. And then we also had a huge bounce here when we broke above it. And then we had huge red candles again when we broke down below 245 previously. So also we can see the exact rejection that we see here on the candle wick. So we're going to be trying to break above this with these higher lows. I like the 20 MA starting to crest up at the 50. This could be a bullish momentum that we're looking for. So this is the closest to breaking out of everything that we've talked about. Actually, there's been a couple that have been pretty close actually that we talked about, but most of them, TRCH, in my opinion, is the closest. It is coming close to possibly breaking that 245 mark. And if it does, it could have a nice day trade and a nice momentum play, as energy is starting to get more volume recently. So we could possibly see more energy plays coming in the next couple of weeks as well. So definitely keep that sector on the watch as well. But TRCH, very volatile. I like TRCH. We've seen a huge run up previously from this all the way from 40 cents coming up all the way to around $4. People made about 1,000% on TRCH if they held that long. So it is very volatile. We're going to be trying to break out of this very key resistance that we did break out previously from at 245. And it is coming very close as a 20 MA is starting to curl above the 50. And hopefully that does continue. So again, TRCH on the watch. Now ZOM. Now this one definitely does probably need news. We did drop below our previous consolidated point around 98 cents. And we are going to hopefully hold these levels, but it looks like we are creating lower lows. We may come down and test this 49-cent mark. Now, ZOM last year was holding around 7 cents for a while, 7 to 14 cents. I remember it was going up and down around that area for quite a while. So I definitely would hold off on this one for this moment in time, but I definitely wanted to break above this huge rejection point that we did see at 147. I wanted to break at least into 150 so we can see more bullish momentum. Now, a lot of people have been asking about ZOM, but as far as ZOM, I want to see more news come into this one for a possible play, in my opinion. It looks like it does probably need more news, but ZOM, it can definitely come out with news. They are trying to come out with their TrueFOMA news. They hopefully will get more sales with TrueFOMA, so we'll see if they can, and if they can, they could possibly have a breakout. Now, that was our top 10 stocks. I hope you guys enjoyed Breakfast with Bulls. If you guys are looking for more news, volume or price alerts, we do go over this on instabulls.com. So definitely check it out if you guys want to have more eyes on the market. But again, I appreciate everybody that's been in the comment section. You guys have been amazing. Everybody that has been supporting the channel, I appreciate every one of you guys. And if you guys are new to the channel, we do go all out every single day on entries and breakouts. So definitely look out for more of those. And if you guys do like this video, it does help other people find it, and it does help the channel grow. And I do appreciate it very much. And again, God bless you all. And I'll see you guys in the next video.